Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. Guys, in today's Pick a Card Tarot readings, we are going to delve into who your next romantic partner is going to be. We'll talk about everything that there is about them, channeling messages through these three groups that I've got prepared for you guys. I will introduce you to these three groups right now so we can get straight into your readings. And for all of you who are completely new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to never miss another prediction. And furthermore, for any of you who didn't know, I just launched my second channel, which is all about manifestation, self-development, and creating the life of your dreams. I'll leave that link in the description box for you guys to check it out, because if you're into tarot, I can assure you that you will absolutely love this Psychic CEO channel, which I have just launched. Alright, my gorgeous soul, let's get into the three groups that I've got prepared for you today. Group number one corresponds to the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck and the Carnelian crystal. Group number two corresponds to the Pastel Journey Tarot deck, as well as the Celestine crystal. And group number three corresponds to the Oriens Animal Tarot, as well as the Tiger's Eye crystal. The timestamps to these three groups can be found below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. That way you all have quick and easy access from your mobile devices, your laptops, your TVs, and your tablets by simply clicking the timestamp of your group. I will now provide you with a moment of privacy so you can pause the video here. I truly recommend that you allow for your finger to just trace along the screen upon which you are watching this psychic prediction, and wherever you find that your finger or your hand gets a little warm, that is the perfect group for you, and that is the group that I would recommend that you tune into. If you absolutely cannot make up your mind, remember that your next romantic partner could be a mixture between two groups. So in that case, feel free to tune into two readings. So I'll give you this moment of privacy as promised, and then I will catch you all at the click of your timestamps. Hello, my beautiful soul of group number one. You chose the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, as well as the Carnelian, to help guide you figure out precisely who your next romantic partner and significant other is going to be. So this is the beautiful Carnelian, which is obviously depicted in this very passionate red color, which is the color that a lot of people associate with love. And when it comes to tarot and crystals, this is a color of masculine energy, forceful energy, and not being afraid to stand out. So know that your next romantic partner is going to be the type of person where you don't have to ask yourself whether they like you or not. It's going to be evident right from the start. And we're getting straight into it with the tiger. They're the kind of person to whom you're going to have to say, easy tiger, you're going all in. Now, the tiger is representative of strength, but also knowing precisely when to approach. Just as the tiger, for example, doesn't immediately pounce, the tiger will first take a good look and size up precisely who they're trying to pounce on before the tiger takes action. And we also have a crescent moon here on the forehead of the tiger, which is representative of someone who is intuitive and they know what they want when they see it. They know what they like when it's before them. We also have here this triangle, which when it's pointing in this direction, when it's kind of like pointing up like a pyramid, what this actually represents is the element of fire. And we spoke about this passionate kind of fiery energy from the Carnelian. So this is hugely resonating for your reading right from the start, group number one. Next up, we have the hyena. Now, your next romantic partner is someone who is really strong. In case you didn't know, the hyena has one of the strongest jaws of the animal kingdom, and we have the symbol of fire again. We have a symbol of the moon again. The moon represents cycles, so this next romantic partner of yours is one where you have to look out for your cycles. Now, in conjunction to passionate romantic moments, this of course also means if family planning is not yet something you're looking into or not something you're interested in, be cautious when you're intimate with this person. However, do know that there is the opening, there is the opportunity for this person to be the father of your children, to be the mother of your kids. So your person has a very strong smile and their jawline is super defined. That's what we've got here within the hyena. And they're the type of person whose presence is slightly intimidating to other people. So when your future partner, when your future spouse even enters the room, it's like, oh my goodness, this person's energy has a little something that is making others feel small and uncertain about themselves. Now, within Evolve, I do see that they weren't always like this. So your next relationship, your next person that you're going to be with is someone who went through a lot of growth, a lot of self-development, personal development. They are the kind of individual who has never felt too proud to admit that they are wrong or that something that they're doing could be improved. And that's probably also what has caused them to be successful, because they never feel as though they are too good for feedback. They've never felt as though, oh, now I'm too successful, too rich, or too wealthy to take anyone's opinion on board. No, they always want to take other people's ideas and opinions on board, and they always want to grow from mistakes that they see, but also those around them might see. Next up within Reflect, for you, group number 1, I want you to know that they will take a little bit of time away from you as you're dating to reflect on whether this is 100% what they want. So they will come off strong at first. We have that here within the tiger and the hyena. You will literally be telling them, you know what, easy tiger, like calm down a little bit. They will be full force going towards you. Then they will have this moment of needing to evolve from a place of thinking that they want to be with you and be in a relationship with you. They will have some reflective days and weeks where you will hear from them less, where there's going to be a little less contact, a little less clarity. Don't panic though, group number 1. Because when you're panicked, when you're acting emotionally volatile, that is when it's going to feel to them as though, I'm not sure if this is my next relationship. I'm not sure if this person is a little bit too all over the place. So keep your cool and give them time to reflect before they then come back and they're like, I actually realized you are the love of my life, and they will continue on from there on out with the consistency that you want to see in order to feel safe within a romantic relationship. Consistency is definitely key, and your next romantic partner is someone whom you can rely on to be that one consistent part of your life. Even if work is going crazy, even if everything around you seems to be all over the place and seems to be out of control, they're the one person whose shoulder you can always lean on, the one person where you can just kind of like lay your head on their shoulder and on their chest and know that they are that constant that never changes and that's always there for you, that you can always rely on regardless of anything else that might be stressing you out within your life. Now, moving further into your reading, we have got the Scorpion for you. Now, Scorpio energy is of course what comes to mind in the Scorpion, but may I point out to you, group number 1, we have the symbol of fire again. Now, this is no coincidence that your guides are sending the symbol of fire into your psychic prediction 3 times out of all 3 cards. And mind you, we have got a deck of 78 individual cards here, so this is not a joke for you to be receiving this 3 times within a row in your reading without interruption. Now, so much earth energy is indicative of the fact that your next relationship is going to ground you. You won't be crazy in love. You won't be in a relationship that has a lot of ups and downs or instability. It's going to be 100% just you knowing this is solid and you feeling like this is home. And because you feel as though this is home, it's really easy for you to actually just focus on work, focus on your money, focus on fulfilling your dreams. Like for me, for example, I have always wanted to help people. I have always wanted to create a business. I have always wanted to be able to do all of the creative projects that I had in my brain in order to help others, whether it's my online courses, my online communities, whether it's creating music, which I'm now doing. I've just always wanted to do something that could lift others up and help them. And I would never, for example, compromise and be in a relationship that takes me away from that, or where the relationship is causing you so much stress and anxiety that you don't even have energy or time to focus on your dreams anymore, because that's when you know it's not the right connection. But trust me, I've been there, done that, had my own mistakes that I've made, so don't feel as though it's something to feel ashamed of if you've ever gotten entangled with someone where that was lost. And guess what? Spirit gives us the lion next, which is another earth animal, another animal that represents the element of fire. And I want you to know that this is a very, very clear symbol. These are the types of zodiac signs that your next romantic partner is going to be heavy in their birth chart. And there's someone who is brave. There's someone who, yeah, they have an intimidating aura towards other people. They're someone who isn't easy to read, but nevertheless, they are friendly. They know how to have fun. They know how to have a good laugh. That's why we've got the hyena, right? And I just want to show you how many other elements we've got in here. So it's really quite clear that receiving the element of fire 4 times in a row is meaningful. It is a meaningful coincidence, as they like to call synchronicity. But I just want you to know here, group number 1, that this just shows us how consistent your person is, how consistent the next relationship that's coming towards you is going to be. And then we have the 11th house, which represents the area of your life that's about friends, like-minded groups, and just your beliefs as a whole. And I want you to know that this means you will meet your next partner in a place where you share the same interests. So if you're someone who likes to run or play tennis or read, or you have some sort of other hobby, it could be, for example, hiking, it could be traveling, whatever it is, I just want you to know here that you are going to meet them during one of these getaways, during one of these times where you are in a group of like-minded people. So partaking in events, even for example, an entrepreneurial event, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur. I know couples who have met at these events. I literally just spoke at an event not long ago here in Zurich in Switzerland, an entrepreneurs event, and a girl that I know from this event had told me a year ago when I was at a different entrepreneurs event that she wanted to get married and be with her boyfriend and have kids. And guess what? She did it all. She's about to have her first child. She got married to this man and she's lived happily ever after. Now, she met him at a place where there were like-minded people. She is an entrepreneur and so is he. And they met because they already had that very strong connection point at one of these events, and it's such a beautiful story of connecting with your future spouse. Now here within the 9th house, this is the house of higher education, of traveling, but also spiritual growth. And the 9th house showing up in connectivity to who your next romantic partner is going to be just shows us here that this is someone that helps you to grow in every way. Spiritually, they help you to grow when it comes to travel. They love traveling. They want to make sure that you are always traveling and seeing new places together. They like for there to be a sense of growth that you have in this relationship. And I do see you traveling to an event that is outside of where you live, And that is precisely where you are going to meet them. That is where you're going to connect with your future partner, with the next person that you will end up with. So group number one, if you're currently a little too shy to go places, to try to kind of like explore, go to events by yourself, just know your future partner is out here. They're waiting for you to show up. They're waiting for you to leave your house. And I strongly encourage you to go out there and live your life. Because here, within the Six of Swords, I can see that in so many ways you have been like in a den for a while, in a kind of like dragon's lair. Can you imagine being at the ocean and there are these huge cliffs, and if you're in the water in front of the cliff at the ocean, there's like an opening, right? And it's like, it's a cave, it's a den, it's like a dragon's lair. If you imagine that there are some sort of sea creatures and serpents that live in there, undiscovered, magical, mythical creatures, that is the kind of cave that Spirit is telling me that you're coming out of, where you've literally dealt with things that the world hasn't seen. And especially, oh, okay, we've got a couple more cards for you. If you identify as neurodivergent, this is something that may deeply resonate with you. And I see here in the Four of Swords that sometimes you just need time away. You have very introverted tendencies as to where your social batteries can run out quickly, especially if you're overthinking whether the people who you're spending time with like you, whether they like your pitch, whether they like the way that you're communicating. I see that your social batteries with work, that's where you really struggle. That's the essence of where, okay, for one, you can be really fun and professional. I see that in the Three of Cups, like you can have fun, have drinks, alcohol-free beverages as well. You can have a good time, you can indulge with others, but then you also need this moment of rest and relaxation. You also need time away again from being around people, because it's almost like you're wearing a mask, almost like you've got a costume that you've put on when you're trying to fit into a crowd. And you can wear the costume for a little bit, but after a while it just becomes uncomfortable and you need to be able to take it off. Now, the Ace of Cups, in case you didn't know this, the Ace of Cups represents a new romantic beginning and new romantic relationships coming into your life. This is a reiteration from your spirit guides within your psychic prediction that yes, your romantic partner, the next one, is a new person. This is someone that you don't have an extensive history with. This is not an ex that is coming back that you're going to finally be with or rebuild or like rekindle things with. This is a completely new individual that I'm really excited for you to meet and to have in your life. You may have started talking to them at an earlier point and then things kind of fizzled out, but it's not one of those ex relationships where you truly knew them and now they're coming back. This is a completely fresh start for you, and it starts at a get together. It starts at a social gathering. It begins in a place where you are actually spending time with like-minded individuals in a group of people who have the same beliefs as you, who have very similar goals, and that is where you connect with your future soulmate and the person that you will be in your next relationship with. Now, group number one, I am now going to take the liberty of clearing out and cleansing the space for you, and then I'll be right back for us to delve even more deeply into your reading. You don't have to do a thing, you don't have to lift a finger, group number one. Just hold on tight and I'll be right back to guide you even more deeply into your reading. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number one. Welcome back to your reading about your next significant other. Let's delve a little more deeply into this. This is the Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck, which I love. Look at these beautiful, like, silver sides. And no, this isn't sponsored. I've owned this deck for a couple of years. I think I purchased it on Amazon at one point, and I just really love the colors and how witchy it is. So next up, we've got the Union. The Union shows us here that this is a forever kind of relationship. This is really it, group number one. This is your soulmate. This is the person with whom you're going to be with for a very, very long time. This is the kind of person with whom you can build a life with whom you can start a family with, someone who really gets you and who wants that forever love as well. So this big oversized wreath kind of ornament, you know, the ones that they have at weddings where the couple stands under it and it has flowers and decor within it. And we also have the whole wedding energy here with the wedding ring and holding one another's hands, being a union, being one. So there's definitely this huge energy here with your person, group number one, of this being your forever relationship. And I just want you to know this deck does not contain relationship cards exclusively. There are very few. I believe this is maybe one of two cards that pertain to romantic love. So the likelihood of you receiving a message such as this is extremely small. Some would say it's a coincidence. On this channel, we know better. We know that this was meant to be. There's a reason why you're here receiving this reading right now. Next up, we have the Lady and the Goddess, which represents feminine energy. Feminine energy can feel safe when there is stability in relationships. That's the only way that the divine feminine can actually rest and can actually be in a state of feeling like it can take a big inhale and not have to watch its back. So if you identify as female, being with someone where you can be in your divine feminine energy, being with someone who you trust, love, and who protects you, provides for you, and allows you to just be yourself, where you never have to worry about what they're doing when you're not there. You don't have to worry about them embarrassing you, who they're following, who they're texting, you know, the whole 21st century issues that we have. I want you to know that this is what makes your union so great. Don't be shocked, group number one, that you and your partner might decide to both not use social media or even just share one account. You might both decide that you will remove everyone out of your following list who isn't a very close friend and just keep things extremely private, low-key, and a small circle, because you just don't want to threaten the beautiful, safe parlor and safe hub, the safe space that you've created for one another. And you also don't want to threaten your divine feminine energy to no longer be safely expressed. Or if you are with someone who identifies as feminine, you want to make sure that them being around you makes them feel safe, that they feel like they can express this feminine energy and that it is protected and that it won't be harmed. Next up, we've got the Witch's Cottage, which represents security. Now, isn't this so telling how we were talking about safety, how we were talking about being able to express oneself? The Witch's Cottage and security literally being printed here on this oracle alongside this black young cat. It definitely shows us here that security is what comes in your next committed relationship. Security is something that is assured, that you're not going to have to worry about one bit. Security when it comes to your emotions and your heart and your time, but also your physical safety. This is not someone who has a short temper that you're going to end up with, and where you have to be afraid that at some point they might lose it or they might do something that they will regret. And this is also not someone with whom you're going to be wondering or worried about where you're going to end up living, what you're going to do when it comes to your geographical location. This is just all figured out. You have this deep sense of safety and security in all of these aspects of life, especially those of the home. And I want you to know here that this kind of security is something that a lot of people wish to have. So please, group number one, there's a reason you're receiving this message. Never grow bored of it or feel as though it is something that isn't exciting, because let me tell you what, We get used to really amazing things, and it's only when it's stripped away from us that we think to ourselves, oh my God, the grass really was greener where I watered it. And right now, I feel like I should have enjoyed that way more. So enjoy every single moment, even this one right now, identifying as single, not being in a committed relationship or marriage. Remember, it comes with a lot of work and effort to be in a relationship. Like, don't try to rush into something, because I know this sounds really over the top, but it's like free labor, okay? It's like almost like slave labor for some people who don't want to be in a relationship anymore, but they are still cleaning the house, they're taking care of the kids, they're cooking, they're providing if they're going to work, they're being an emotional support animal, a psychologist, they're tolerating disrespect, they're tolerating infidelity. Not to say that that's something you will experience, because from your reading, that is definitely not your next partner. But it's just to remind you of the fact that a relationship is a job. Even if you have the best partner on this planet, you will have to do some emotional labor. You will have to take care of things in the household. You will have to consider their emotions. You will always have to make sure that whatever action you take, you factor in that, hey, you're in a committed relationship, and this is not something that just goes without say. It is definitely going to mean that you have a different set of responsibilities on your shoulders. So enjoy this time of not having those responsibilities and being able to just do you and be selfish and do whatever you want and never owe anyone an explanation, because you really don't. Now, within the ritual, I do want you to know that there will be a ceremony. So marriage is something that I see for you, but not in the conventional way. Marriage in the sense of your wedding is going to be very unique. It's going to be very different. It's going to be something that not many people have actually seen or experienced in this way before. Something about your wedding is going to feel way closer and more intimate, especially for the guests as well, than other weddings have been, other weddings that you've been invited to, other weddings that you've seen, even some that you've seen on TV and the internet. It's all a lot of show, it's a lot of huff and puff, but your wedding is going to be a lot of substance, a lot of closeness, a lot of this feeling of more intimacy than anyone has ever experienced at any wedding so far. It's going to be very special. People are going to talk about it for a long, long time thereafter. And then we have the Lord and the God, which is beautiful to appear within your reading, because it shows that your relationship is made up of both energies in a way that is healthy for the relationship. We have the masculine energy, and we also had the feminine energy that showed up within your relationship reading. Now, with the feminine, we already discussed that, but let's also remember how important it is for the masculine to be able to, and to be allowed to be masculine, to be allowed to be the giver, to be allowed to be the one that expresses themselves in ways of doing things, of completing tasks, of protecting, of putting themselves out there if there's any kind of danger. But the masculine at its core needs to be respected. And for someone who is more in their divine feminine, or someone who identifies as a lady, a goddess, a female, being able to respect the masculine or just the other person that they're with, that is what creates a relationship that has a strong bond that is gonna last for a lifetime. Because once the respect is gone, it's only a matter of time until things change for the worse. But because you've got both in your reading, this means that you have got an amazing balance of this within your relationship that's coming towards you next. And this is something that people can only dream of, group number one. I'm really excited that this is how your reading and your next relationship is shaping up to be, because love isn't easy. Love is definitely something that a lot of us struggle to figure out, but love is also mutually understanding what each person energetically needs. And the thing is, you are so open to receiving feedback. You're so open to receiving the other person as they are, group number one, that for you, it's not hard to adjust if your partner says to you, hey, I really love that you're so attentive, but sometimes I also just want you to listen to me and let me make my own decisions without telling me how you think that I should do it. And you're just like, cool, great. I understand they want to be more in their masculine, and I will observe a little more. I'm so open to receiving, because what comes then is that when you allow them to be in their masculine, they end up doing so much more for you than if you stifle that part of them. But the thing is, you have learned to be open to receive. And I also see that you're receiving this extremely large engagement ring that is extremely glittery. You are receiving something with a white and a red ribbon, so don't be surprised if you get gifts from your future person constantly wrapped in either white or red ribbon, and that these gifts are usually small but very luxurious. Next up, speaking of luxury, what we've received next for you is the Boss Up card. Now, as you can see, this card depicts another epitome of luxury within a private jet. We've got the champagne, the roses, we've got, the notebook, because she's bossed up, she's booked and busy. So I see that regardless of how well off your future spouse might be, regardless of how successful they are, you are bound to always have your own grind. You are bound to always have your own thing going for you. And that's not because you're in competition, not at all. That's not the kind of energy that you're even interested in. But the thing with you, group number one, is that you are in a place where you feel like, yeah, I have so much to share with the world. I have so much to give. Why would I not have my own career? And also, you never know what might happen in a relationship, in any relationship. It's always good to have your own means. And I see that because you understand how to not be too masculine and forceful, you understand this beautiful game between the feminine and the masculine, you don't scare people away. You don't scare away people who are opposite of you in their energies, because you know how to tone it down when needed. You know how to pipe it up in the boardroom. Let's move further into your reading. We've got the Six of Fire here. Well, here within the Six of Fire, and we have the symbol again of fire, I want you to know here that when it comes to fire, when it comes to, before you land on your person, there's this love triangle situation going on. There's this situation where multiple people want you, multiple people want to be with you, they want to spend time with you, they want to be in a relationship with you, they want to be deeply, madly in love with you. And because you are so nonchalant in a way about it, and you're very focused on your grind and on your money and on your career, it's almost scary for them to try to get close to you, in a sense of they want a safe face, and they also know that you don't need them. So you need a very strong personality to end up being your future partner and spouse, and someone who is genuinely confident, not just someone who says they're confident. So there's a lot of people out here who say they're confident, they want an independent person, but then when it actually comes down to you, for example, being this independent boss chick, all of a sudden the insecurities start to show, they start to grow, they start to flare up by them being jealous, by them putting you down, by them kind of having an attitude when you're doing your thing or working, or you don't have time for them. You know what I'm saying? So here within the Six of Fire, I do see that in the end, it will be this love triangle of two people wanting you and fighting for your attention. One will give up eventually because they can just tell you are not to be manipulated, nor will you take your foot off the gas with your career just because you're in a relationship. Now we have the Three of Water in reverse. The Three of Water in reverse is indicative of the fact that you are spending a lot less time in this relationship going out or drinking and partying. Anything like that is not what you are engaged in whatsoever, because you both are piping down on unhealthy habits and unhealthy kind of foods and substances, and in that sense you're influencing one another positively. The Three of Water reverse also shows us that because you are less socially engaged, sometimes you have to plan dates in advance and going out in advance just to make sure that you don't become too much of a homebody with this person. Because I do definitely see here that you guys just feel as though going to bed earlier gives you so much than staying up late and partying. And what good is really going to come from partying anyways? What good is really going to come from hanging out in, for example, a club till late at night? I see here within the Queen of Water reverse that there is a water sign that is leaving your lives, that is leaving this relationship. So this could be, for example, a friend or someone who had this motherly energy to them, and they should have been a mother, they should have been a protector, but when this relationship came on, all of a sudden they kind of turned a little bit jealous, they turned a little bitter, they turned a little bit like they wanted to continue to have this place in your life that now your partner is taking up. And the thing for you, group number one, is that it can be challenging when this happens, in the sense of feeling like, why is this person not as excited for me as I am for myself, or even more excited for me? Why aren't they super excited that I finally found the one? And I want you to know this person will come around. It's more like an initial shock. It's a little bit of a shift in dynamic that they're not used to and that they didn't expect, and that I don't want you to worry too much about. Plus, even if they were to stay a little groggy for a while, it's not your fault. And at the end of the day, you have to choose yourself. You have to choose love. You don't want to be forever single. You don't want to have girlfriends who are literally just only enforcing this singlehood, or guy friends who are only kind of there for you when you're quote unquote single and miserable with them, because some people equate singleness to being miserable, which it absolutely doesn't have to be. We can fully enjoy single life and we can fully enjoy relationships both equally. But the thing is that the transition from being part of one club to being part of another will sometimes cost you certain connections and friendships and relationships. And that's totally fine, group number one. That's totally expected. And I don't want you to feel as though you did anything wrong, because sometimes people are jealous. Sometimes people insecurities will be triggered, especially because you seem to have it all. You seem to have the career, the hot guy, the hot girl. You seem to have, marriage on the horizon next, and just leveling up, seemingly existing in the perfect life in every realm of your path. And I see here within the masculine and the feminine, again, Spirit is applauding you for how you have learned to not be too much of either. And this is a very delicate balancing act, where in the past you may have been too much on one side of, for example, at one point being extremely masculine, then at another time or at another point realizing like, okay, I might have to pipe it down a little bit in my personal life and keep the masculine energy for my career, for the things that I want to do professionally or financially. Maybe vice versa. Maybe you needed to receive a little bit more when it came to your career and stop trying to just put things out so much and do so much all at once. And you had to turn to a little bit more of this feminine siren archetype energy of, I let things come to me, I let money flow to me, I let people figure out where I am, So group number one, you are definitely creating this very strong sense of integrity from the inside out. And the integrity card showing up next for you, group number one, is a huge indication for you also feeling so comfortable when you are just completely bare, when you are in your own skin in front of your person, because you have had your moments of insecurity, you have had your battles with your body image. And sure, I think we all always see our imperfections or see some of the things that we feel we could improve or do better. but you've just gotten to the point where you have created a very strong sense of accepting yourself for who you are and how you look, to the point where there's not anything to take away from pleasure when you're being intimate with your person, because you're worried about what your body looks like, what it sounds like, what it smells like, all of these things. So this shows us that your next relationship is a truly healthy one. It's a relationship that you're going to find is going to add so much into your life rather than extract. And this is so healing, especially for all of you who have been in relationships with narcissists, with people who are avoidants, especially if you are anxiously attached. Oh my goodness, I think that is the most damaging combination that there is out here. And then we've got the number 16. So I want you to know that meeting them will happen on the 16th of the month. Group number 1, the 16th of the month. Write that down, write it in your notebook, keep track of what happens on the 16th of each month. I do just also want to add the time of the day. Okay, we've got 2. So this is most likely going to be 2 p.m., my gorgeous soul. Of course, we will leave 2 a.m. open as an option as well. As mentioned, you and your person, you're going to settle down together. You're not going to be party animals, but perhaps you could meet them on a night out. But 2 p.m. is kind of the time where you would bump into them, as they are professionally extremely driven too. Now, group number 1, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space one more time so we can delve a little more deeply into your reading, as I want to get into a few more of the character traits and looks things of your person with whom you will be in your next committed relationship with. So group number 1, as you already know, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to do a thing. Simply continue to relax and enjoy your reading, and I'll be right back so we can delve even more deeply into what's coming next within your love life. Welcome back, group number 1. So let's delve a little more deeply into your person and everything that there is to know about them and what they look like, shall we? Alright, so first up, we have got the 8 of Swords in reverse. Now what this tells us is that your person used to feel trapped within their body, but they are free at the time of you meeting them. So this indicates that they may have grown up feeling chubby, feeling unattractive, having acne, having something that made them different that they then grew out of, but nevertheless they know the struggle of not being accepted socially and being bullied, so that makes them never want to put anyone through that same kind of emotion again, because they know what it feels like and they know how tough and challenging that may be. And I want to add a little animal counterpart to this. Okay, we've got the moth. What this tells us is that they are attracted to shiny things. To attract your next romantic partner, wear jewelry that is a little bit more out there than you usually would, that is shiny and that reflects the light in a way that is as glittery as possible. So I'm not talking tacky, but I mean, for example, if you have really gorgeous olive skin, wear that gold jewelry, you know, wear the bangles, wear the earrings, wear the dainty necklaces, wear the chunky rings and so on. Use that to your advantage to attract attention, because I do see here that they love everything that's bright as well. So you wearing bright colors such as white, cream colors, light blues, light pinks, light yellows as well, and light greens, of course. And here within the 6 of Swords, I also see that they used to have blockages in talking to someone first, but they've overcome that. So they're going to approach you. Don't be worried about, well, if I look too out there, if I look too kind of different, if I look too expensive. They may feel intimidated, but let me tell you, once they see what they like, there's no stopping them, group number 1. So don't worry about being quote unquote too much for them. You're never going to be too much for the right person. Next up here within the Nightingale, as we can see within the Nightingale, they are outspoken. They are going to come and talk to you. They're going to come and make it known that they like you, that they want to communicate with you. This is the symbol of air. And the nightingale, obviously being a bird, it shows us here that they are going to tell you how much that they love what you're wearing, how much that they love the kind of light that you bring into every room that you enter. And they're just 100% obsessed with the fact that you are being you. They are the kind of person who loves individuality. And the thing is, because they have had to conform in so many ways, they love to see it in other people when they are completely different, when they are completely themselves. Saint Germain gives us an image of what your future person is going to resemble. Saint Germain shows us that they are a person that moves beyond drama. They don't like drama in any sense. They create their own path and they only want to make room for good energy. If you're looking to attract someone who has male features, Saint Germain is your man, group number 1. So we have this beautiful kind of auburn brown hair, brown eyes. We have some strong facial features that are still soft in the areas that you want them to be soft. He has this skin tone that isn't too light, and he dresses very smart, very regal. I'm getting, for this day and age, someone who wears a suit, who wears these suit shirts, you know, the dress shirts, I think they're called. You guys can just tell I don't hang around people who wear suits very often, dress shirts. And he likes some adornments every now and then. So he may wear a necklace or like a ring every now and then that means something to him, a family heirloom. And I also want you to know here that his lips are like the perfect size, the perfect fullness. Eyebrows are done, but not in a way that they're feminized or that you see like, oh my God, these are overdone. But he takes really good care of himself, group number 1. He is clean. He is outwardly pretty attractive and in a quite undeniable sense. His nose is perfectly shaped for his face. He has a more like long face, a very long face, and the tip of his nose is very like, you know, a little button nose situation. And also the facial hair that he sometimes grows out when he feels like he's in the mood to have a little change. Now, within tenderness, we have this image of this rather strong looking, bulky looking male figure that is holding this child. And I do definitely see here that physically that's what it's going to be, having a family with your person. That is what it's going to look like when your child is being held. And I want you to know here within tenderness that this beautiful mixture between something that looks intimidating, that looks like it couldn't be tender, actually showing so much tenderness and softness, that just makes your heart melt even more, group number 1. And then we've also got divinity. So what will always be important in your next relationship is your connection to the divine. It is your connection that you both are committed to growth, you're both committed to self-development, you're both committed to making divinity part of your lives in the sense of understanding, you know what, there are some things that we can't explain, there are some things that are in the unseen, and that's fine. Rather than asking ourselves what every single thing means and interpreting a lot into it, how about we just live amongst this miracle that we get to experience and call life, and just trust that what's meant to be in this relationship will be. So lastly, I do also just want to see what kind of age difference we're looking at with your person, group number 1. All right, we've got 5 years for you. We received the number 5 when it comes to the age difference with your person. And I'm so excited for this next romantic relationship for you because it seems to be a really healthy one. Now, group number 1, this is the reading that I've received for you. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I trust that this found you at the right time and that it resonated for you. I'm sending you so much love, group number 1, wherever you are on this gorgeous planet, and I can't wait to catch up with you during one of our upcoming predictions together. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number 2. Welcome to your reading about your next romantic relationship. You chose my Pastel Journey Tarot deck as well as the Celestine crystal to help guide you. This is the gorgeous Celestine. I love the baby blue vibes, the fact that it looks almost a little bit like a cloud in a way, and it just goes so beautifully with my Pastel Journey Tarot too, which I know a lot of you guys own, and it's just such a dreamy deck that is going to give us precisely all the answers that we need when it comes to your love life. So, group number 2, are you ready to get into it? Because I know I am. So, let's see precisely what is coming towards you in love when it comes to your next relationship and your next lover. Ooh, the Four of Swords. I can see that they're going to be everything that you prayed for when you were alone and when you were going through a lot of silent battles. You see how we've got the Four of Swords and she's praying, she's by herself, she looks like she's deep in thought. I see here in the Four of Swords that under so many circumstances, of course, you had the option to give up. You had the option to think to yourself, I don't think there's someone like that out here. I don't think I'm going to actually get this type of person precisely. But you continue to have faith. And faith is the evidence of things that are not yet seen. And that's what you were really strong at, group number 2. And I do see here within the moon, I am getting that you will meet them during a time where you are so in sync with your natural cycles, and they too are in sync with the moon. So, for example, during a full moon, feeling as though you're a bit more restless, like you've got a bit more energy. During an eclipse, the moon plays an important role in when you're going to meet your person. And the Five of Swords shows me here that what they're actually going to end up doing is help you out of a situation that was rather challenging. So your soulmate, the person with whom your next relationship is going to be with, is going to quote unquote like rescue you from a challenging situation. And that's not to say you couldn't have gotten through it without them. That's not to say that you needed them. Group number 2, don't take it in that way whatsoever. But they were wanting to help you. They were wanting to make your life easier. And when that happens, why not simply accept the help, group number 2? And that's precisely what you learn to do. You learn to open up, and in your intuition, I can see that you just knew that they were the right ones. So you had some troubles where there was something challenging that you had to deal with. And here within the Queen of Pentacles, I see that that has to do with work. So while you are usually in control of everything in the earthly realms, you're fiercely independent, you're wildly intelligent, group number 2. It doesn't take away from that. The Queen of Pentacles shows that you know what you're doing and what you want and what you deserve. However, there are times where even you can definitely benefit from a little bit of support, where even you can benefit from someone taking some tasks off of your shoulders so you no longer have all of this weight that you are dealing with. So the Queen of Pentacles is definitely a huge indication for you, group number 2, that your person is actually giving you a lot of advice and support in the earthly realms, professionally speaking. And the thing is, they are most likely someone who is older than you, therefore they're able to do that. The Two of Cups, which I received next for you, is actually the best card when it comes to romantic love, because the Suit of Cups corresponds to your emotions, your relationships, and love. And the Two of Cups shows a relationship between two people, a very strong bond that is unbreakable, unshakable. You are on the same level when it comes to respect, when it comes to communication. This is someone whom you can speak to about absolutely everything, and they just get it. They just understand. And they never judge you. You go out for bubble teas, you go out for teas, you go out to fun restaurants, for dinners. And I do want you to know here within the Two of Cups that this is based on a strong friendship that then turns romantic. The Six of Wands is a card that represents triumph. It represents your love life being triumphant, and the next person that you're in a relationship with is going to help you be even more successful. So in the past, you may have even had relationships that made you feel less confident or even took away from your personal successes because perhaps you were with someone who was kind of insecure, or they themselves weren't as successful, so therefore they didn't quite understand how driven you were, how large your dreams were, how much that you really knew you could accomplish within this life. And that can truly have like a huge effect of friction on a relationship with another person, because when you can tell that they just don't truly believe in you, it's hard to have them around you. It's hard to even want to confide in them. It's hard to want to do anything with someone like that. And I see here within the Ace of Swords that for you, group number 2, this is finally an equal. The next person that you will be in a relationship with is finally someone who you feel is an equal emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. You don't feel like it's someone who you have to uplift and you have to take care of and you have to kind of teach the ropes of life. I do see here in the Ace of Swords, they're the kind of person where you can just tell, okay, they get it, they understood the assignment, they're on the same level, they understand that the relationship is here to be a safe space, because life is already crazy enough as is. You don't need craziness in a relationship as well. They are supposed to be the place where you lay your head at night. They are supposed to be your confidant, the person who you trust the most. And in the Ten of Wands, I can see for you, group number 2, that another part of what happens in your next relationship is that you can finally relax after burnout. I'm getting this quite literal burnout energy, and it's hard for me to even say it because I don't want to feed into it, but let's also not deny the truth that, yeah, you have been overworking yourself, and you have also been with people who encourage that, where you're working so hard and they're just like, oh, keep going. And it's like, you need softness. You need someone who encourages you to be healthy, not someone who encourages you to continue to be burnt out, to continue to just put way too much effort into work, way too much effort into areas of your life where you are feeling more and more depleted day by day, and where you can never just actually rest in divine feminine energy, put on a face mask, a hair mask, do nothing and feel good about it. There's a difference between relaxing and feeling guilty about it or bad about it, and relaxing and truly feeling like you deserve it. Next up here we have the trine, and the triangle facing in this direction actually represents fiery energy, and the trine is the type of angle of angelic support and harmony and perfect flow. So your next romantic relationship is a harmonious one. It's one of perfect flow. You are completely on the same page with your next romantic partner. You just get one another. You get one another's ways of doing little things, such as how you prepare your gym bag to go to the gym to work out, how you like to prepare food, when you like to eat, how you like to do your work, especially when it's from home, the snacks that you like, the kind of routine that you like to have. They're so in sync with it. They're so in tune with it. And the thing here is that that's when you know when a relationship is really gonna last, when there's no friction in these little day-to-day things and no one feels like they have to hide who they truly are. So next up, we've got the third house, and the third house is ruled by Gemini, in case you didn't know. The third house is your house of childhood relations and your rational mind, communication. This is a house where you will very much find in your next romantic relationship, they remind you so much of your childhood, and you had a lot of the same childhood experiences, even though you grew up in such different environments and also in different places on this planet. So you are not from the same town, you're not from the same spot. This person with whom your next romantic relationship is going to be with, they watch the same shows as a kid as you did. Like, for example, Sailor Moon, SpongeBob, Bratz. Okay, they probably didn't watch, but you know, all of these things, they know the cult classics as well, such as Gossip Girl, such as Vampire Diaries. And I see here within the Chariot that you guys laugh about a lot of these things, even games such as Mario Kart, Pokemon, stuff like that. And that really fosters and binds the love even more closely together, because it's like you get each other on that deeper level. You get one another's humor as well. And with that just comes like a deeper connection that just kind of goes deep very, very quickly. The Chariot is a card that represents speed, so your next romantic relationship is going to happen fast. You're going to fall in love quickly. You're going to be head over heels, obsessed with this person in no time. Even though you swore to yourself that's never going to happen again, you're going to take your time. You're not going to get so obsessed so quickly. Group number 2, we are not judging you. This is just the little moment of truth to tell you that when you know, and there's nothing wrong with it. The Queen of Wands shows us here this fire sign energy that is feminine, yet also has the masculinity of being super decisive, knowing what it wants and going for it. So the Queen of Wands is a representation here with this black cat of being decisive, being unafraid, going for what you deserve in love as well. Because once you find someone who is just as into building something as you are, why let them go? Why pass up on the opportunity? Why play coy? Why play it cool? Literally, what's the point? Like, are we getting married or not? Because I'm healing, his hairline's receding. Like, we ain't got that much time until I might change my mind. And here in the Nine of Wands, I see that you've really come to this point where if it doesn't bring you peace, it's just not even for you, group number 2. And I do see this deep sense of hurt that you have been working through from past romantic experiences. You see how we have these bandages, and the Nine of Wands is usually represented through someone who has a bandage, an ailment, something that they're healing from. And you don't have to be fully healed until you find your forever partner, until you're with your soulmate. That would be nuts. Why would we have to always be fully healed? Because in relationships, things will happen that will hurt you or harm you, and you will have to learn how to heal while being with another person. So it's important here in the Nine of Wands to remember that this healing is happening because you have had past experiences that were less than favorable, but you're not letting this affect the future of your love life. You swore to yourself you're not going to allow someone who isn't your future spouse to make it harder for your future spouse. But the Nine of Wands definitely shows us here that going to therapy might be helpful, working through it by journaling, by being very honest with yourself about the fact that, yeah, you do still have some internal work to do. And also, in a sense, yeah, you're falling in love quickly, but always keep a little tiny part of your heart protected in the sense of when things happen very quickly and you're in very rapidly, sometimes people are also out very rapidly. So beware here in the Ten of Wands of the fact that you have been through it. Protect yourself, my gorgeous soul, group number 2. Of course, this is about your next relationship. So this relationship has already happened. All right. When it comes to the quantum field, this relationship is already yours. It's already happened. The Ten of Wands shows us that after this, rest. You found this person. No more dating, no more anxiety, no more overthinking. You need some time to rest, group number 2, because you have really been doing the most in every area of your life. And now you have someone who is reliable, someone whom you can go to bed next to, that you know is there to hug you, to kiss you, to spend all of these tender moments with you. Enjoy it and take the time to heal. The Ten of Wands showing up twice, it shows us really burnout is something to be so cautious of, group number 2. I know it's always so easy to say, oh, it's not going to affect me. I'm tough. I'm disciplined. It's not a thing. It's not in my culture. It's not in my heritage. It's not within me. But I just want you to know here that your person is going to offer to take so much off of your plate. Just accept. It doesn't make you any less capable. And remember how we spoke about you meeting them and they're helping you, they're taking things off of your plate. It's because unlike other toxic lovers, they see that you're tired. And rather than just allowing you to continue to struggle and be tired and do everything by yourself, they are taking action. That's their love language. Their love language is making sure you are actually good. Not just saying, oh, I'm sure it'll get better, and then leave you there in the trenches to figure it out, which a lot of very cowardly people do. And the thing is, for you, this is new. For you, this is something that you haven't experienced before, because the Two of Cups shows me you've always wanted a teammate, but this mythological creature, this mythological kind of thing of actually having a soulmate, a teammate, someone to rely on, it never was a reality, because the reality was that, yeah, you were a teammate and you were waiting for another teammate, but all that you had was actually someone watching from the sidelines. All that you had was a bystander. Meanwhile, you were a team of one, because whenever they actually had to come to practice, put in the work, put in the reps, whatever we want to call it, when it comes to putting in the work to be in a healthy romantic relationship, it didn't happen. So the stark contrast to your next relationship is going to prove some challenges in letting down of the masculine energy that you have had to uphold for so long. Look how much masculine energy we have. We have the Ace of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords. Then here we have the Six of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Wands again, the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Wands. Wands, wands, swords, swords. These are masculine energies. This is phallic. This is all about masculinity. And you having had to be strong for so long, having to fight for yourself for so long without any true help or support that was reliable, that it's going to be like a absolute huge relief once you realize that it doesn't have to be this way, and that there actually are romantic partners out here who are different, and where you can feel safe and where you can let your guard down. So group number 2, this is what I've received so far for you. I hope you've been enjoying it. Leave a flame emoji below if you have, because that's the only way you would also know that you're part of the group number 2 tribe, because the only way you would know is, well, if you selected group 2 and you watched all the way to this portion of the reading. But what I really want to get to is that now I will clear and cleanse the space for you, and I'll be right back so we can delve even more deeply into who your next relationship is going to be with, who your partner is going to be, so we can receive every single last detail that you are meant to know. So when this person crosses your path, you will be 100% certain that you found them. So group number 2, just hold on tight, and I'll be right back to guide us even more deeply into your love reading. Hello, group number 2. Did you miss me? Let's move further into your reading so we can figure out precisely who this person is with whom you're going to have your next relationship with. So let's get into it. Group number 2, we've got the beaver. Now, the beaver may not seem as physically attractive, quote unquote, but what the beaver really represents is actually someone who is a builder, someone who creates a home, who creates something in the environment that changes the environment for the better. In case you didn't know, beavers help to create entire ecosystems with the dams that they build. And I want you to understand that your person with whom your next relationship is going to be with, they are a builder, literally and figuratively speaking. They are great at woodworking. They are great at creating things from scratch with their hands. They are the type of person with whom you can actually build a home with whom you can actually create this family environment with. And in the lizard, I want you to know that they are resilient. They have overcome some really tough stuff. Group number 2, they have overcome some heavy heartache and heartbreak. They have been betrayed in so many different ways. And the lizard shows us here that they have this type of energy of, well, if you don't like me, if you are not going to try to make things work, I am going to give you the same type of energy that you're giving me. So at first we have the warm energy of the beaver, of wanting to build, of wanting to create together. But when they realize that actually it's falling on deaf ears, or actually the other person isn't really on the same boat or in the same team, that is when they retract. That is when they go away and they say to themselves, you know what? I think this relationship isn't working out for me. And I see here within the Phoenix that on so many occasions, they were able to rise like a phoenix from the ashes in peace. So by rising like a phoenix from the ashes in peace, I mean being betrayed, being screwed over in business, being screwed out of time and money, you would think that they're a vengeful person. You would think that they're the type of person who wants revenge, who wants to get back at other people. But actually, not at all. They're the type of person where when you wrong them and it clearly wasn't just an innocent mistake or a mishap, you do so out of a place of wanting to harm them. To them, that is actually a beautiful, extremely eye-opening experience, because now they know who they're dealing with, and now they can consistently be a little more cold. Now they can consistently pull away. Just as when you actually prove that you are super loyal, you are super caring, you are the kind of person who they can count on, then they can consistently be on the warmth of the things, be on the warmth of the side of, all right, you know what? I want to give this person a little more. I want to be with this person because they have clearly shown that they are trustworthy. They have clearly shown that they are the type of person that I can trust and who actually wants the absolute best for me. So within truth, they always seek the truth. Regardless of whether others would see the truth as good or bad, your person that you will be in your next relationship with is actually someone who 100% would rather know the truth than be coddled with a lie, or than be told a lie to just temporarily make them feel better. They're not about that. They actually love when truths come to light that are uncomfortable, because to them, it just means that they're not going to spend more time in a situation or a relationship that was never meant for them. They are a very forgiving person, and they are not going to forgive in a way that is disrespectful to themselves, because yes, they have been in relationships where they have forgiven people over and over again, a cheater in their past relationship, and of course that is disrespect on a type of level that they are no longer willing to forgive. However, when it comes to little squabbles, fights, disagreements, not wanting to agree with one another is a natural cycle of any kind of relationship. There will be some friction at some point in time. They're super forgiving. They're the type of person who's like, baby, I don't want to fight. Baby, I don't want to be in this situation. Babe, I just want back our old cuddly vibes. I just want to go back to being happy, being content, and being close to you. They are definitely the kind of person who can get in their feels about that in a really great way, because they don't have this huge ego thing of wanting to be right or giving the silent treatment until you cave, because there are definitely some very, very toxic individuals out there. There are narcissists who play the silent treatment to punish you, and that can be really scarring for any of you who are very sensitive or who have anxious attachment style. That is just 100%, using that and weaponizing it in a sense that isn't healthy, but they're so not like that. They hate any kind of arguments and squabbles. I see that the person with whom you will be in your next relationship with, the cheetah, shows us they're fast, they're quick, they want things to happen with speed. So just as much as things can happen quickly and you get into a disagreement, you will be out of it very quickly again as well with them, because they don't want to be caught up in any kind of unhappy situation for too long, because for them, life is just way, way, way too short. And the rabbit that appeared next within your reading is confirmation that they want kids. They love this whole fertility vibe that we have going on within your reading. They want offspring. They want to procreate. They want to procreate with you, group number 2, to be specific. And the thing here with the rabbit and the cheetah is that they have always wanted a family of their own, but they never found the right person to do it with until they met you, group number 2, and you changed the game. You changed everything for them. I know it sounds kind of a little like sappy. It sounds a little bit over the top, but I promise you it's not. The sextile shows us that they love the combination that you have in a relationship with them, which is a combination of a little bit of tension, but also a lot of flow. And they see so much potential. They see such a rewarding, long-lasting relationship and marriage in being with you. And that's also why to them it is important to come from a place of consistency so you can feel safe. Because believe it or not, they realize, they notice very early and quickly that they're the type of person who is dealing with an anxiously attached individual. You may even have a little bit of a mixture of anxious and secure or anxious avoidant attachment. And I do see here that they want to make sure that they don't lose you at all in an emotional sense. The 12th house is the house that corresponds to the zodiac sign of Pisces, and this is the house of your unconscious. This is the house of spirituality, introspection, also service and healing, karma, and they believe truthfully that the more good karma you create, the more good things will come to you. And they also believe that if you create bad karma, you will just make breeding grounds for more challenges within your life. So the person who you will end up with in your next relationship is a little quote-unquote superstitious when it comes to that. They're very careful about who they treat others, which I would say is not a bad thing, group number 2. Let's add some letters into your reading. Oh, okay, we already have a Y that popped right out. And then we have N as well as C. So I am getting this Yannick kind of vibes. I am also getting this, New York City for where they're from, their origin, where they're living. I'm getting this very finance kind of vibes, finance, 6'5", blue eyes kind of energy from your person. Let's add a little more into your reading, group number 2, because this is getting juicy. All right, let's see what we've got here. You're throwing away happiness with both hands and reaching out for something that will never make you happy. This is one thing that they have come to realize with all of their exes and past relationships, that man, that was a waste of time, group number 2. They're like, why am I throwing away what could be my happiness? Why am I allowing for anyone to have a relationship with me that doesn't really value me and doesn't really give me this feeling of being excited to come home or being excited to even do life with? Like, why am I not freeing myself from this? So the thing is, they're really done with their exes. They're really done with anyone that they were ever in a relationship with. And the thing here is that once they start their connection with you, they're not the one who's going to butt out. They're not the one who's going to stop. They're not the one who's going to say, oh, I can't anymore, or this is just not a relationship that is for me, etc., etc. They are the kind of person who will fight for the relationship. And that's precisely who you want to end up with. You want to end up with someone who is going to fight for the connection. You want to end up with someone who understands how invaluable your relationship with them is. You want to make sure that you're with someone who never gives up even when the going gets tough, and who also knows how to compromise. Your person definitely 100% knows this. We've got this as confirmation within your reading from your angel cards, group number 2. And the fact that they are not only able to, but also happily willing to compromise, it just shows this energy of not being so entrenched and entangled in a huge ego of having to always be right, or not being able to apologize because that would make them less strong, or that would make them a fool or something like that. I mean, I don't know why some people feel that way, and I just don't think it's a thing that we will ever understand as empaths and as caring people. But the thing here in accuracy, which we receive next, is the correctness or truthfulness of something. And your person has a very truthful, correct manner about them. To them, the goal is for the relationship to last and to thrive. So their actions have an accuracy with what will help the relationship to thrive. Furthermore, it says the ability to be precise and avoid errors, the ability to do something in an accurate way. So they are someone who is very much focused on accuracy and precision. Also, when it comes to their professional career, group number 2, I'm getting mathematician. I am getting someone who works in the legal system, who needs to know all the little laws. I am getting someone who works in banking and finance, who needs to get the numbers right or else. So we've also got exchange. All right. Here with an exchange, the definition that we have described is to give something and receive something different in return, to give something and receive another of the same or an equivalent in return. So they are all about a partnership being an exchange. It's not that, for example, they put in X and they want X out of the relationship. They're okay with putting in Y and getting out T from you. Okay, the thing is, they just want it to be mutually beneficial where you can both thrive. They don't have an issue with, for example, being the one who pays bills and you take care of the household. Or for example, they put in effort by planning dates, and what you do is you make sure that when you come home from the dates, when you have the days off, you plan the relaxation time. They are the kind of person who does not value or grade one as better or more important as the other. They are the type of person who sees value in all of your different strengths and in all of these different areas. And to them, it's just about the teamwork. To them, it's just about both of you putting in effort and both of you showing that you want to be in this relationship, that you want to make this work, that you want for both of you to enjoy each other's companies as often as you possibly can. Let's move a little more deeply into it. We've got the spider. Group number 2, the spider brings a message to trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. So they are going to push you to finally finish writing these stories that you have in your head, either through poetry, an actual book, or a song text, a song lyric. The spider is all about weaving your dreams into being. The spider is all about going from a thought, going from a vision to an actual reality. And I see here within the honeybee, let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. Why this is your next serious relationship is because you both are healed, you both are mature, you both understand the most important thing is compassion, the most important thing is forgiveness. We have forgiveness already within your reading from this deck at an earlier point, and it is to just decide, all right, in life you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna have someone who makes you feel annoyed, angry, anxious, hurt, at least every now and then. It can be seldom, it can happen very rarely, but even the best person will sometimes trigger something in you. And the most important thing is just to find someone where you feel like it's worth that happening, that the amazing times and situations and the amount of time that you actually spend happy with them and being in a good place really outweighs the times where there's a little bit of friction and where you feel like, all right, you're going through a rough patch. Now the octopus brings a message to practice shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. So dressing up, cosplay, all of these things are very much welcomed by your next relationship because they like the excitement of newness. Also wigs, different kind of hair, different kind of makeup if you wear makeup. Just changing your appearance in so many different ways is something that I can tell they really love and appreciate. It's something that excites them, and they love the whole like changing of persona in cosplay and costumes, and the fact that it keeps things interesting for so much longer than if you were just always doing the same old, if that makes sense. So next we've got the polar bear. The polar bear brings a message to stand up for yourself and speak your truth respectfully and compassionately with no attachment to the outcome. And this is something that you're going to want to always do in romantic relationships, and to remind yourself that a real connection is never threatened by you respectfully and compassionately communicating your truth and saying how it is that you feel and saying what it is that you're going through and why you're feeling this way. Being very outspoken and honest about your feelings is only going to disturb people who you're not meant to be with, or who benefit from you not expressing your emotions, which is also not what you want in the long term. And group number 2, I just want to remind you of the beautiful blessing that you have in your life of being able to pick a partner at this point in your existence who is kind, who is caring, who is all of the things that you desire in the long term. Because there are also a lot of people who are in relationships and they feel stuck, and on the outside it seems like, oh well, they're in a happy relationship, but on the inside they wish it wasn't like that, and they're spending a lot of their time, which is so limited and precious within all of our individual incarnations that we're currently living in. They're spending it in relationships that is essentially throwing away happiness with both hands and reaching out for something that will never make them happy by trying to fit someone into a mold or into a space that they're just never going to fit into. But you get to pick someone who fits precisely into the mold that makes them an amazing partner for you, group number 2. And for that, I absolutely cannot wait. I also just want us to get a little indication as to when you are going to meet this person. So let's figure out, okay, we've got 10th month of the year. We've got October vibes for you. And we also have 10 as a number that is the number of completion. 10th day of the month is an amazing month too for you to meet them. And then let's get into a little more detail. Okay, we have Leo. We have the fiery energy of Leo here. This makes a lot of sense with the phoenix too. Remember how we spoke about them rising like a phoenix from the ashes. The lizard also corresponds to the element of fire. And Leo energy is energy that is bold, that is not afraid, but at the same time also very forgiving and generous. So group 2, this is the reading that I've received for you. I hope that you have enjoyed this and that you found it insightful. Feel free to let me know below in the comment section. And I would like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons who make it possible for me to continue making these videos here on YouTube. I love you and I appreciate you, and I hope that you guys have been enjoying the Patreon content as well. So my gorgeous soul family, wherever you are in this world, I'm sending you so much love, and I cannot wait to catch up with you during one of our upcoming readings. Hello, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. Welcome to your reading about your next romantic relationship. You chose the Oriens Animal Tarot as well as the Tiger's Eye Crystal to help guide you. So we'll go into every nitty-gritty little detail. This is just a close-up of the crystal of your choice, which is a crystal that helps to sharpen your instincts and helps to bring out the side of you that knows precisely what their intuition is trying to tell them and actually listens to it. So group number 3, let's get into your reading, shall we, to figure out precisely what your next relationship is going to look like. First up, we've got the Empress. Okay, Empress, group number 3. You are an Empress, and you are the kind of person who is meant to be adored, who is meant to be with someone that worships the ground that they walk on. And the Empress also just screams to me my Society of Empresses community, where we talk every single day, we manifest, we pull tarot cards, I do readings for you guys. And I just want you to know here that your next romantic relationship is exactly that. You are worshipped. You speak every single day with this person. You get along beautifully with them. And you can just tell that they really, really value and worship you more than anyone ever has in the past. And this gives you a lot of confidence within the relationship to make you actually speak your mind without any fear of losing them. Because that is the difference between a relationship that's meant to be and a situationship, kind of. Because in the relationship that's meant to be, you can speak your mind, you can be who you want to be without any fears of alienating them, because you just can't mess it up with the right person. Next up, we've got the Four of Swords for you. Here within the Four of Swords, one thing that I can see is that you're holding on right now to some thoughts about what your next relationship might be like that are not helping you. So asking yourself, will I ever be in a healthy relationship? Will this kind of person that I want to be with want me back? Will I be in a relationship that is truly satisfying? All of these kind of like fears around scarcity of finding the right person or finding an amazing person for yourself. And the Four of Swords shows me here that rather than hanging on to that, how about you just release it, group number 3? How about you just wholeheartedly believe during every waking moment that you are meant to be with an amazing person. You are meant to be in this relationship of your dreams, and that person exists. And why shouldn't you be with them? Why shouldn't you have that person? Why is someone else more deserving than you of the relationship that you desire? Obviously, there's no reason for that. Why not choose to only engage with thoughts that affirm the kind of love life that you dream of and that you really want? Next up here within the Devil, I see a lot of temptation for you, group number 3, which means that in so many ways before your next committed relationship, Spirit is going to show you that there are temptations out here that you can give into if you want to, but it's not really necessary. So there will be some people who show interest in you, who show this kind of like wanting to be with you vibe, but you're gonna kind of realize here within the Devil that it's just words. There are no actions to back up their claims, and that's what I want you to focus on, group number 3. The best way for you to figure out whether you're dealing with someone who is legit or with someone who is just talking or just simply is bored or taking a break from their girlfriend or their spouse or whatever situation they have going on the sidelines is to, for one, give things time, so don't get into anything too quickly, and then for 2, also ensure that anytime you are dealing with them, pay close attention to what they do, because anyone can say things, and a lot of people in dating have figured out the art of future promising, so they can get you to commit, they can get you to give up your body, your pride, your time right now in order for you to have a chance at this future that they're saying that they will give you. So the best thing here within the Devil is to just test people. That's the vibe that I'm getting from your guides. That's the message I'm receiving. And Justice shows us here that the thing is, you're very wise. We've got that depicted in the spirit animal of the owl that has showed up within your tarot reading. And this animal showing up within your love prediction means that you have outgrown this phase where you want to give everyone a chance and you quote unquote see the good in everyone. It's not that you don't want to see the good in humanity or like you're this negative person now. It's just that if your actions don't match your words, then I am going to weigh that in a different manner. All right, we have the scale here, which is giving us Libra energy. But what this also means, aside from the fact that Justice represents the astrological sign of Libra, it also just means you're really weighing your options in love, because to you it's like serious. Now it's about picking the best candidate. Now it's about reminding yourself that, yeah, who you end up with will have a profound effect on the quality of your life because you hang out with that person probably every single day. And Justice shows us here that so many times you were focused more on whether they like you, whether they would want you, But do you want them, group number 3? Is the life that they are offering you, is the future that they have set out for you to be together, is that really the kind of future that you want? Is that really something that you deserve, or do you deserve better? Or are they offering you something that resembles more the bare minimum rather than your dream life? That's what I'm getting here with injustice, that I want you to be very aware of and cautious of. Next up, we have the Three of Swords, which is representative for you, group number 3, of being fully in charge of your words and your communication. So you're not over texting, you're not double texting, you're not sending long paragraphs with this person. Your next committed relationship is very clear to the point, but the reason why it's very clear and to the point is also because you're not over communicating. You're not waiting for them to call, you're not wondering why they haven't texted you yet. You text them as little as they text you, and when they try to play the game of the whole, like, you know, slightly pulling away, making you catch a little bit of anxiety, as a lot of people try to do when dating, you're just simply not even engaging in it, and that just shows like, oh my god, wow, this person is actually fully in control of themselves. I see here within the Two of Fire that your next relationship is going to be with someone who is like a twin flame. They're like a soulmate. They're the kind of person that is so similar to you, where you feel like you could be twins in so many ways, but of course, in a different sense, they're also the complete opposite. They are also this person that you want to romantically be with, and you most likely don't want to be in a romantic relationship with yourself. But the Two of Flames, the Two of Fire, shows us here that this is the kind of person where you get along on such a deep level, like you connect through such depths that you've never had in a romantic relationship before. Then we have the Queen of Air for you. Now, the Queen of Air represents the kind of energies that are present in your next serious relationship. The Suit of Air is the suit of everything that has to do with communication, everything that has to do with your thought process, everything that has to do with you actually being in control of your thoughts and in a state of logic. And the Queen of Air shows a nice mixture between, for one, having a goal for this relationship and going about it in a logical way. So for example, you may want this next relationship to be the one where you settle down, where you have kids, where you purchase a home together, etc., etc. Whatever it is that you want out of this next romantic relationship, yeah, you have the things that you desire, you have your game plan, so to say, but then at the same time, there's also the part of you that wants to just enjoy the love, right? There's also the part of you who just simply wants to be in love and be in this relationship and have a good time and have fun. And within abundance, I can see that your next romantic relationship isn't going to lack anything in the field of abundance. So this is someone who gives you everything that you could hope for, that you could wish for, and more. The fridge is always full, the bank account is looking plump, and there's nothing that they can't provide. There's nothing that they can't give you. And this is not to say that you can't give things to yourself. It is because you have been taking care of yourself, because you take care of your own needs and you pamper yourself, you spoil yourself, you treat yourself kindly, that anyone who comes around can't help but do at least the same, because they themselves can tell that they have to offer you something in order to even be worthy of a relationship with you. Because if they're not bringing anything to the table, it's like, what's the point? What's the point of even being together? What's the point of them even being present within your life? And I see here within the Hearth and Homecoming that your next relationship is one where you're going to move in with this person. You're going to be together in a home. I am getting this fireplace vibes, this hearth vibes of like sitting around the fireplace, having a good time in the evenings. This almost like winter wonderland, you know, when it's like cold outside and snowing, but you're warm and snuggled up on the inside. That is the kind of energy that I'm getting here within Homecoming for you, group number 3. And I want you to know that this definitely shows us that What's coming next in your love life is a very cozy relationship. It's a relationship that gives you the opportunity to really feel at home and to build something with another person and to get to know one another on a very deep level. Now, next up, within prosperity and Longnazad, we have this vibe of similar to abundance, prosperity, in the sense of we've got a lot of wheat here. This means that everything is prospering in your next romantic relationship, from the love to the material things, the finances, to the business success, the business deals. This is a match made in heaven, really, your next romantic relationship. This is a really beautiful fit as you are increasing one another's prosperities. And I do see here that a lot of the seeds that you have planted are going to turn into really big crop that are going to give you the opportunity to enjoy the fruit of your labor, to enjoy all of the work that you have put in, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. So let's move a little more deeply into your reading, shall we? I'll be using my Wild Muse Oracle deck. So let's see precisely what we've got here. Next up, we have sacrifices. Your next serious relationship is going to come with a certain amount of sacrifices that you will have to make in order to be able to keep up with it. So you may have to cut some of your outings, you may have to cut a little bit of alone time that you usually enjoy to make time to be with your partner, because this relationship is, of course, going to require time to build, time for it to grow, time for it to strengthen. But the thing is that you see so crystal clearly where this relationship is going that it's worth it to you, because you understand, of course, in order to have a close relationship or to have your own family with this person, you have to make sure that you are even investing time in it. But because it's so crystal clear to you what you want from this person and what you want from this relationship, it is easy for you to make these sacrifices, because it's not like you're just making sacrifices. You're also gaining a life partner. You're also gaining someone who is completely and utterly obsessed and in love with you in such a healthy, beautiful manner. And it is crystal clear to you what is going to happen with this relationship, and that it's okay that this relationship has replaced some of your other acquaintances, some of your other connections that were not particularly deep or strong. So you're keeping, of course, your close friendships and your family bonds intact, but anything that isn't really important or doesn't really add value in form of a connection, you're getting rid of. Even friends that are on the iffy side of, in a way, not getting in the way of your relationship, but you know, when you have those friends that you know wouldn't say no to dating you, do you really want to still meet them even though you are in a committed relationship? And how would you feel if your partner or your spouse were to meet up with someone who has, like, maybe quote unquote a crush on them, who wouldn't say no to being with your partner, and them knowing that and still meeting up with this person one-on-one? Not sure how I would feel about that. Everyone's completely different, group number 3, but I do see that that's where you're keeping some people at arm's length. The next card that I received for you is absolutely telling of the fact that prosperity was meant to be within your reading. This is the day you plant the seed. Group number 3, isn't this wild? How we have all of this wheat, and wheat is, of course, symbolic of food. It is symbolic of abundance. It's symbolic of having more than enough, right? Of being fully taken care of. Also, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to things that keep us alive, when it comes to the things that we need as human beings to be comfortable. And one reminder in the day you plant the seed is that this relationship is one where you build together, and that doesn't mean that they come empty-handed with empty pockets or without having figured out themselves. This just means that you are building so much more together, that you add so much more value to each other, that you're able to reach professional heights that otherwise may have been more challenging to get to. Now, in the 10-90 ratio for you, my gorgeous soul of group 3, I do see that life really is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. All of your relationships where you were highly reactive, you can tell that it wasn't even so much what had happened that made you reactive, but you think back and you think, I shouldn't have even given it that much emotion, because I probably could have triggered the response that I wanted had I just been silent, had I just ignored, had I just showed this kind of inner strength and resilience of non-reactivity and not even putting myself out there like that, emotionally speaking. Because what's the point if someone isn't investing in you emotionally? Why would you invest in them? Why would you give them the satisfaction to know that they have you in an emotional chokehold? And that is where you know for a fact that to you, if someone pulls back, you pull back. If someone puts in effort, you put in effort. But the thing here is that with the Empress, I see that your next relationship, it's going to be so clear how much they want you. They're going to make it so obvious that they want to be together with you, that you don't even have to play these games. However, when you have your disagreements or your discussions with this person, you are 100% on the camp of, I'm not even going to give it too much of a reaction. I will let my silence speak volumes and have them in a bit of a worried chokehold. Now, group number 3, this is the reading I've received so far for you, but I want to delve a little more deeply into who this person is, what they look like, potentially what sign that they're under, when you will meet them. So if you'd like to figure out more details, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to do a thing, just simply continue watching. And I am now going to clear and cleanse the space, and then I'll be right back to guide us even more deeply into your love reading. Welcome back, my gorgeous soul of group number 3. Let's delve more deeply into your next committed and serious relationship to figure out precisely with whom this is going to be with. So we've got the Lion. All right, we're getting Leo energy. We also have the symbol of the element of fire. And here within the Lion, I can definitely tell that for you, my gorgeous soul, your next serious relationship is going to be with someone who is brave, who is outspoken, who has the heart of a lion, who is generous and outgoing. They also have kind of a lion's mane, so a very full head of hair. And when they enter a room, they command respect. Their energy gives them this complete glow that others can see, that others notice, and others respect in a way that not many people get respect in this day and age. The Scorpion also shows us here that within their birth chart, they've got Scorpio energy. Your person with whom you're going to be in your next serious relationship with is someone that you won't want to mess with, because guess what? When they are in the mood to show you precisely what they're made of, they're not going to think twice to sting you, so to say. Group number 3. They're not going to think twice to show you that they are not to be played with. And again, we have fire, the symbol of fire right here. So fiery type of energy. Fire sign energy is Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius energy. And I want you to know that the person with whom you'll be in your next serious relationship with is very much passionate about you, about life, and about protecting you. I have this protective instinct, this vibe of not wanting anything to ever hurt their loved one. Next, we've got the eagle. So we've got very strong animals that are the spirit animals of this next relationship of yours. And the eagle is an apex predator. The eagle is, just as the lion, an apex predator of the animal kingdom, who is at the top of the food chain. The eagle, of course, represents the element of air, as the eagle is a bird. And we can see that the eagle here is going for something that is its target. And it never misses, it doesn't fail, it's extremely strong. And that's precisely what we have with your person too. They are the kind of person who sets their sight on something and they get it, they do it, they won't miss. I definitely want you to know here within the eagle that your person is the type of individual who will 100% go for a very challenging task that others would be too afraid to even attempt, and they will hit. They never miss. They never fail. That's because they're disciplined. That's because they know what they want. And it is because they are the type of person who has confidence. All right, the next person you will be in a romantic relationship with is extremely confident and well-spoken. The eagle tells us that they also have a very sharp mind, and they're the kind of person who can't unsee things. Visuals are important to them. The eagle has very, very sharp visuals and can see prey from a very far distance away, can locate and spot movement. And that's what I see within your person as well. They pay attention to all of the little things. The white eagle spirit shows me that within their heritage, it may not be directly their parents or grandparents, but I mean lineage that goes a couple hundred years back is extremely like native in the sense of rituals, in the sense of coming from a kind of heritage that has beautiful traditions. They want to connect more with their lineage, and they love your heritage as well, group number 3. They have had their own fair share of family wounds and hurts. They have had their own struggles with their background and with the family that they were born into, because the expectations that were set on them were always extremely high. And although their direct mom and grandparents might not be that of, for example, Native American descent, which is what I believe we have depicted here, I want you to know, okay, what I am also getting though is like South American kind of energy. What I am trying to get at here is the fact that their family has tradition, their family has these values from their lineage, from their pattern that was passed down. And within Paul the Venetian, I see that they are an extremely refined version of where they came from. So your next relationship will be with someone who looks very put together on the outside. They've got piercing blue eyes. They have got a facial structure that has a lot of these striking features, such as the eyes, such as, for example, the face shape, the beard. It is very symmetrical as well. And I see that their hair is wavy. They like to comb it over. Their hair is a little more on the lighter side, perhaps even with some red undertones, with their grandfather having red undertone hair. That's the energy that I'm getting here with Paul the Venetian. And I want you to know that this person with whom your next serious romantic relationship is going to be with is someone who loves to share their gifts. This is someone who loves to share everything they've worked so hard for. So they're extremely generous. That is also the energy of the lion, by the way. Lion energy is extremely generous energy. And within Freya, they understand that you go through phases and cycles, maybe even quite literally speaking, if you menstruate. They completely understand that you are the kind of person who has to listen to their body and who will have ups and downs that correspond to their body's phases and cycles. And one thing that they also love is when you dress in a very, I want to say, youthful manner. You see how within Freya we have the pigtails. Excuse me guys, just had to get myself a little chamomile tea because my hands are slightly cold. So here within Freya with phases and cycles, they like the youthful energy. They like the youthful look. And they also love when you are barefaced, when you're not wearing a lot of makeup, when you're representing who you were as a kid, so to say. And I don't mean this in a weird way. They just love seeing you for who you truly are. They don't like all of the stuff that was created in the 21st century when it comes to a lot of makeup, a lot of lashes, hair that's just, you know, teased to the nines and so on. Not that I'm saying that is what's currently trendy, but they just like the naturalness. They don't like anything that distracts from it, and they like you for you. That's what they want you to know. However, once you have gotten a little bit more in tune with them, once you've gotten to know them on a deeper level, that is when they're going to like the switching things up, keeping things interesting, and so on. And here within ask for help from others, I want you to know that this next romantic relationship is going to take place after you have asked for help from others. I know, group number 3, you are independent, you're strong, you're fierce, you don't need to ask for help. There's nothing that you quote unquote need from another person. We have established this, group number 3. We don't need to further like prove this. We don't need to further speak this into the universe. Everybody knows that you're independent. Everybody knows that you're strong. Everyone knows that you are that person who is like the mom friend, who is like the shoulder to lean on for everyone in the group, who is like that person that you can always turn to. This chamomile tea is really hitting, and I don't want you to feel as though this means that you can never ask for help from others. Quite the opposite. You will literally meet your next person through asking for help with a friend. And that friend is going to be like, I'm not sure if I can help you with this, but talk to this person. Talk to Paul the Venetian. Talk to this person who has the white eagle within their ancestral lineage. And I see here that then you will get more information about this person. You will get to know them. You will get to know the next person that you will be in a relationship with on a closer, deeper, more intimate level. And you will think to yourself, oh, okay, this is interesting. I really didn't expect to meet my person in this way, but here we are, and I am open to it. And I want to see what the letters within their name are. Okay, we have T, U, and N. So obviously we've got nut as well, and then there's something going on here. I'm getting a nut allergy. Spirit is like, do not even move further into the name. I just want you to know that when you learn more information about this person, they have a nut allergy, and it's not funny, group number 3. They are highly, highly allergic to nuts. I am getting this whole like peanut vibe is just not happening for your person. So if you like nuts, you're going to have to contain those nuts to your own diet, group number 3. And then we have I-N-U. Funny how we have U and N that showed up twice. So one thing that I am getting here is this kind of new. So obviously phonetically it sounds like new. And what I am getting here is also uni. So someone who went to school with them, someone who went to uni with them, or you went to school with, you went to higher education or uni with, you ask for help, and then they will be able to point you in the direction of your soulmate unknowingly, because it all started off with you being able to reach out, ask for help, not being too proud, not letting the ego take over, but instead just make yourself vulnerable and show that you are open to receiving support, which in the end really serves you, group number 3. Next up, we have the kiwi. The kiwi is suggesting you do a walking meditation each day for the next week. The kiwi is that creature that is trying to communicate to you that you have to step into solitude in the form of meditation more in order to gain the confidence you will need to end up in this relationship. Because so many times we kind of doubt ourselves when we're dating someone, and then when that person kind of has a moment of, you know, a change of energy, or you just feel something is off, or nothing even is off, but you're worrying something is off. You are overthinking the situation. And when you start to learn to only expect the best when dating and in love, it completely changes the trajectory of your love life, because now energetically you're on a very, very different plane, you're broadcasting a very different frequency, which yields very different results as well. Now, moving a little more deeply into your reading, we have now received the mountain goat for you. The message in the mountain goat is that there's something out of balance in your life, so do whatever you need to correct it, group 3. If you can think about what that is right in this very second, and you know precisely what Spirit is talking about, group number 3, quit the procrastination, just get it done. For me personally, what was out of balance is that I had a lot of admin tasks to do, and I knew that I can't focus on anyone or anything. I can't focus on love, for example, unless I feel like I have gotten my things in order, unless I feel like I am put together, because otherwise I will have this energy of a little bit of uncertainty and insecurity, not due to love, but you know, these things spill over into the different areas of our lives, and I really didn't want that to happen. So therefore, as soon as I found that, you know what, this is overwhelming me and I don't want this to spill over into my love life, I took a couple days, completed my things, and then moved on with my life. All right, next we have expensive, group number 3. You seem to be an expensive person, okay? A little luxurious taste buds is what I'm getting here. But all jokes aside, this is the definition of expenses. So charging high prices involving serious losses or disadvantage to a particular person or group, something that is expensive, that costs a lot of money. All right, group number 3, you are not a cheap treat, you're not a cheap date. And I love that about you, group number 3. Embrace it, because guess what? There's a saying that goes, nice girls ask for nothing or expect nothing, and that's exactly what they get. Nothing. So group number 3, remember that being a bit of a challenge is actually what the perfect person for you likes. They like when you're a challenge. They like when you're not trying to coddle them. I see here that you are meant to be with someone who actually absolutely despises everything that's easy to attain. They don't want. They want the difficulty level turned up to a max. They want to ensure that what they're getting is exclusive, not to objectify you, but just to make it very clear how this person sees love and relationships. If anyone can have it, they don't want it. They want something that is unique. They want something that is interesting. They want something that represents exclusivity. And that is you, group number 3. So if you were worried about being too much, all right, Spirit literally popped the Aquarius card into your reading right now for a reason. Bring out that Aquarius energy, which is the energy of being rebellious, of being confident, of being completely detached to other people's opinions, not caring about whether someone likes the way you act or behave or not, but simply expressing yourself the way you see fit and being completely independent, because guess what? The more independent you become, the less anyone can tell you ish. Next up, we've got the cardinal. Now, the cardinal represents you having a pioneering spirit and complete bravery. We also have the sign of Aries, Cancer, then we've also got Libra, and down here we have Virgo for you. So within the representation of these cardinal signs, and down here we have got Capricorn. These cardinal signs are leaders, they're dynamic, they're action-oriented, very direct and assertive. We spoke about this fire sign energy being important. That's where we've got Aries that shows up too. So what I am getting for your person is that they have Leo and Aries energy in Sun, and then we also have this Scorpio energy in their rising or moon. Aries could also be a placement that they have got in Mars, that they have got in Mercury or Venus, and your person is definitely someone who doesn't play around one little bit. Group number 3, life is too short for that. So group 3, I am getting this message that there are a few more pieces of information to be revealed about your next committed relationship. So once again, I'm going to clear and cleanse the space and I'll be right back. Simply hang on tight, group number 3, and we'll delve even more deeply into your next relationship and some more things about its timeline. So I'll speak to you in a sec. Hello, group number 3. Welcome back. So let's delve a little more deeply into your reading. I'm now using the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck for all of you who want to learn tarot. The link is in the description box. I've got a tarot masterclass, and yes, there are also payment plans available, so there's no excuse for you to learn this amazing craft as a tool for self-reflection and creating your own dream life. And of course, you will have access to the Society of Empresses, where you can ask me questions. I post almost every single day. There's something going on there within this group and within this community. We do readings with one another. You can also ask me to do quick readings on you, and this is exclusive for either Psychic CEO members, that's my membership, or for those of you who have purchased the Tarot Masterclass. Those are the ways in which you have access to this exclusive community that's only for tarot enthusiasts, where you can find me every single day. Now, next up here, we have got the Six of Swords reversed. Your next romantic relationship is going to finally bring an end to a long search of trying to find the right person, of trying to find someone who actually gets you on a deeper level. And here within the Two of Swords, what I can see for you is that it will be hard for you to decide to settle down still, because you don't want to get hurt, because you want to protect your heart, and because it is so wildly important to you that you keep your independence. And this person wants to take care of a lot of things for you. They want to care for you in ways that you're not used to. So therefore, it will take a little leap of faith for you to decide to be all in with this relationship and to truly put all of your eggs in this one basket. Next up, we have the Eight of Wands reverse. The getting to know one another phase is going to be one where you take time. It's not going to be this whirlwind romance where you're immediately moved in together and you're married and everything like that. I know a lot of tarot readers like to depict every single relationship to be that way, but the Eight of Wands reverse is clearly saying, slow down. Take it easy, get to know them, and that will make the love grow. When we rush into things, we forget that as quickly as we get into things is how quickly we may fall out of things as well. And the intensity, the crazy in love, that implies that there's something unnatural about it, right? Falling in love. Why would you want to fall? That means you have no control over things. That does represent a little bit of helplessness, a little bit of just letting things happen and hoping you don't crash. But at some point with falling, you hit the ground, right? At some point you crash. So actually falling in love is not necessarily a very positive foreshadowing of any romantic relationship. So we want to grow in love. We want to take our time. And the Wheel of Fortune is actually a symbol of good fortune. It's actually a very positive card to appear within any of your readings. So you're receiving the Wheel of Fortune, and we are figuring out what your next romantic relationship is going to be. It's an amazing one. This is one where you can feel comfortable, cozy. This person has really earned your love and respect, and vice versa. You've also shown them that you're legit, you're for real, you want to be in this committed relationship with them. So the Wheel of Fortune does represent here that there are so many different viewpoints from which you can see a relationship, but you and your next romantic partner, you want to be together in a way that lasts for a very long time, if not a lifetime. The Temperance card represents you taking your time in order to make sure that this person has dealt with their vices. They've dealt with the things that they should really be exercising temperance on, so that they don't drink too much, that they don't gamble, that they don't have any other addictions, that they don't have a kind of health condition that they can control, but they're not controlling, like very unhealthy eating or even smoking. Temperance shows us that being with this person creates such a turnoff in you to go out, to drink in excess, to be unhealthy, to do anything really that isn't representing a life of health and wellness and togetherness and a long-lasting connection. Anything that isn't that, you are simply saying no to. And within loyalty, I can tell that they are going to be extremely loyal to you because they can tell you are a very loyal person. And to all of those who are loyal, it is, of course, until your heart is broken, it is normal that you expect the same loyalty in return. And if you're one of the few lucky people who are extremely loyal and you've gone through breakups, not because someone has cheated, not because someone has committed adultery, but for other reasons, you will still have that innocence in you of course expecting loyalty out of the person that you're seeing, because to you it's normal. You give loyalty, you expect loyalty. And I see that this whole energy of just freely giving loyalty is prevalent in your next romantic relationship, because your person is done with the games, they're done with the back and forth, they are ready for tenderness. They are done with feeling like, oh, they are being too soft, or they might get hurt if they're too open with you about their feelings. All of these things that might make them vulnerable, etc., etc. They want to be vulnerable. They're done with the whole playing games and the whole notion of protecting themselves and keeping their options open and making sure that they don't settle too quickly. And what if something else comes up? No, no. There's always a grass that is greener or seems to look greener. There's always someone who is richer, who is more successful, who is more physically attractive, who is more intelligent. There will always be that person that seems to one-up whoever we're with. And I know it sounds harsh, but you know it's the truth, group number 3. But is that really what's going to determine whether we settle down with an awesome person? Because when you look at another person and, for example, physically they're more attractive than your current partner, okay, but maybe they're not as loyal, maybe they're not as intelligent, maybe they don't even want a relationship. Maybe they're attractive, but they have really bad manners, or they're just not a kind individual. So the thing is, we sometimes in relationships forget the entire picture that we have of someone, which might be really awesome, and then we start to nitpick just little faults and then start to imagine in our heads that the grass is greener somewhere else, where actually the grass was just green in one little corner and the rest of that person's yard was brown, it was wilting, it was full of dog poop, you know? So let's always remember to appreciate what we have, and this is something that your person has learned and something that your person is bringing to the table in this next relationship you will be in. They're never looking around and thinking, oh, but this person is prettier. Oh, but this person has, I don't know, better eyebrows. This person has a better job, but this person lives closer to me or is easier to impress. They're not about that. I see here within forgiveness that they want a long-lasting relationship, and they are willing and prepared and ready to forgive little discrepancies that you have with one another. Like if you're having a bad day and you're being a little short with them, or you may even resort to a little yelling from time to time, or a little action that you regret later on. Nothing major, but something that is definitely not within your character. But when you're close and you're together all the time, these things can happen, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Group number 3, they forgive you. They forgive you anyways because they know they want to be with you. And you have a very forgiving heart. Therefore, it's not even a question as to whether you forgive them once you found your person. For you, it goes without say. For you, group number 3, we actually need to keep you shielded and away from the world until we know that you've got a good person in your life, because you will forgive people who don't deserve forgiveness. You've done that, and it's like, we can't even let you out here by yourself, group number 3, because it's just too dangerous. It's too dangerous. We have to protect you at all costs. I see here within the Roadrunner to keep your sense of humor. Don't take things so seriously. I know sometimes in love, especially when things are challenging or things go south, it can feel so serious. It can feel like your entire world is ending or something like that. But group number 3, remember, actually, it's not that serious. Actually, there's always better. There will always be someone else. You remember when you had your first crush and for some reason it didn't work out and you thought you would never have a crush again. Fast forward, look at you. You've had crushes, you've had relationships, maybe even marriages, maybe you've even lived with people since then. So you found again, and you found better. And the one you thought you had lost for good maybe crawled back. So next up within the goose, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. Your next romantic relationship is a time out for you, all right? Rather than continuing the dating thing and putting yourself out there or feeling like you have anything to prove, this is a break. This is you actually having time to breathe. Your next romantic relationship is going to teach you how important it is to be with someone who also encourages rest in you, who doesn't just say, yeah, keep working, keep going, keep doing, keep striving. No, someone who actually has tenderness in mind when they think of you, and also who wants to bring tenderness into the household, into how you are raising a family together. And I'm getting a lot of this, you being with someone who is very big, broad, okay? Their body is massive compared to yours. They've got muscles. They look like they could unalive someone, okay? I'm getting the muscles, I'm getting the dark hair, I'm getting the tattoos kind of vibes. So we did have lighter hair before, but I definitely see here that they may dye their hair in the process of being with you and go darker. Dark skin tone, that is another thing that might be the indication of the darkness that we have, and hair that is relatively light for their quote-unquote dark skin tone, not in a weird way, but in a way that shows they're pretty good looking. And just seeing that contrast when they hold your child, when they hold a baby, or even like an animal, it is so attractive to you. It is something that like makes you almost salivate a little bit, because it just shows how mature and in tune this person is and how much they have left their ego and toxic masculinity at the door. You know, because toxic masculinity, whether that is represented in someone who identifies as male or as whoever they want to identify as, that is what extracts people from being able to express tenderness. And that's not something that you're seeing in your next relationship at all. Quite the opposite. This is someone who looks like they would never express emotion. Meanwhile, they're so forgiving, they're so loyal, they're so open, they're so sharing. And with being together with them, literally your lifestyle improves. Less drinking, less unhealthy foods, less going out, and more time relaxing and actually being your best self. Now, group number 3, this is the reading that I have received for you. If you watched your reading all the way up until the end, leave a star emoji below in the comment section, because that's the only way that anyone would know. They'd have to be part of group number 3, and they would have to watch their reading all the way up until the end. I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, for sharing this divine time and space with me. If you'd like more tarot-related content, or to join my exclusive community where you have hundreds of classes I have created to change your life from the moment you join the membership, and my daily support within the community, which you can access through being in this membership, it is linked in the description box for you guys. And of course, my second channel too, where you have really in-depth manifestation classes and master classes. Now, group 3, I'm sending you so much love wherever you are on this gorgeous planet, and I can't wait to catch up with you during one of my upcoming readings.